Canada Soccer says women's team head coach Bev Priestman and other senior staff will not be back. This comes after a recent independent report into the Olympic drone spying scandal by Canada's national team. The report went on to outline that the practice of spying on opponents predated this summer's Paris Olympics. For more on this story, we're joined now by journalist John Molinaro. So, John, let's talk about this because Priestman is not going to be back. What does this mean for her and the team really at large?
Well, it's really sort of a black mark on her reputation. You have to remember that she was the coach at the helm of the Canadian women's team when they won Olympic gold. She inherited, when she took over as the coach in 2019, it was true that Canada was coming off back-to-back bronze medals, but it was also coming off, a pretty poor performance at the World Cup. She really sort of led the team to, gold medal glory. She had a big hand in sort of, leading the team to that gold medal in Tokyo. This is kind of like a black mark on that. I don't think it puts the sort of result in question, but I don't think there's any question that, this is a damaging sort of turn of events for Bev Priestman in terms of her career going forward. And now, of course, Canada has to go out and find a new national team coach, and they have games coming up at the end of this month in early December. So it's a short turnaround for the national team program. Yeah,
time is ticking away. According to Canada Soccer CEO and General Secretary, this problem is systemic.
Right.
What are they going to do about this?
Yeah, so, well, obviously not firing Bev Priestman is a pretty big step.
First step, yes.
So there's that. They're also sort of mandating that the reporting of unethical behavior going forward. They've called for ethics training for all coaches and staff going forward, and they're also going to set up an independent audit and compliance committee. And all of this is to sort of better in terms of getting better oversight, because the fact that this was able to go on for so long, unchecked, unseen, unsighted, is really sort of a black mark on Canada Soccer. So they're clearly sort of taking great steps to make sure that this doesn't happen again.
What does this mean for John Herdman?
Well, that's an interesting question because, as you mentioned, it sort of predates the Olympics, and according to FIFA documents and previous reporting, this whole practice of drone reporting was pretty much started under his time when he was national team coach. And of course, Bev Priestman served as an assistant coach under John Herdman when he was coaching the women's national team. Yeah. Canada Soccer said it's going to look into taking possible disciplinary action against him, and that could mean fines. It could take the form of sort of banishment. We really don't know. It's interesting that they wanted to have him take part in this independent investigation, but because of scheduling issues, nothing could be worked out. Yeah. They had a 4-month window, but somehow they couldn't make that work. That's kind of interesting. But John Herdman not out of the woods possibly just yet.
This is such a wild story.
Crazy.
Is it getting the same buzz internationally as it is in Canada?
No, I think that's the thing. I mean, it is a much bigger story here in Canada. Obviously, when it happened at the Olympics, it was a big thing.
Yeah, of course.
Because, we were talking about the reigning Olympic champions. Sure. But I think the attitude of a lot of people internationally is that this sort of thing, like drone spying in soccer, goes on all the time. Why are the Canadians making such a big deal out of it? So internationally, not such a big deal, but obviously really a big deal, because I think it speaks to just this concept of fair play and good sportsmanship that I think a lot of Canadians kind of hold dear.
Absolutely. John, thanks for bringing us this.
You're welcome.
John Molinaro joining us in studio.